Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is another of the Twitch recap episodes from a live stream I did last Wednesday. This is probably the last stream where we'll be working on this Mark III shuttle. We're just doing some of the very last little bits of troubleshooting, including balance and, I don't know, just final testing. Looking for little improvements. This included shifting the EFT a little higher on the belly of the shuttle itself so that we could reduce the gimbal, or reduce the angle, rather, of the RS-25 engines that provide most of our thrust on the way to orbit. This hopefully will help reduce some of the drift launch that we've been seeing as far as previous episodes have been concerned. And also, we're going to get some Sepratron motors here on the EFT to help push it away from the shuttle itself. And we'll just go ahead and take this outside and see if it had any real effect. So I'm going to turn you over to Live Me for up-to-the-minute coverage during the live stream. All right. What staging got messed up? And there's that. That's boosters, that's clamp, that's the RS-25. So actually, all of you just need to be in this stage. How did this get so screwy? Why are all my clamps in all different places? I didn't even mess with those. Alright, well, the launch pad has been thoroughly destroyed. SAS on, throttle set to full. Let's see if it drifts still. Uh-huh. It also doesn't really lift off that well now, does it? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I think we'll clear the VAB. Ooh. We have quite a pronounced wiggle here. This is interesting. It did not do this last time in full load testing. I'm actually quite shocked it's being so sluggish in half load testing. I wonder how much of the 70 meters per second is horizontal versus vertical. Wow. We walked the length of the Space Center with this thing. That is... We don't have an engine failure, do we? Looks like everything's running green. Should be okay. Except we are most certainly not okay. And let's handle a roll. Yeah. Definitely a lot of inputs required beyond just a roll to execute a roll. Ooh. Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. I guess we're still in some pretty thick air, so it's not a real surprise that it wants to point to its prograde vector. It is a fighter. I should probably be using MechJet for this silliness. That takes all the fun out of it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the Soviet thing and just rotate it on the launch pad versus trying to execute a roll in flight, because this is kind of ridiculous. Now that we're getting up into some thinner air, it is considerably less ridiculous. Something just doesn't quite feel right. We'll see how she behaves after booster sep. Yeah, and you know what else we need to do? Displace fuel forward, see if we can't maintain some stability here after booster sep. See, now I actually have my hands completely off the controls and it's flying really well. Let's see if it'll just stay right where I point it. Yeah, that's really not bad. I mean, she's a dancer, likes to shimmy. All in all, doing quite well. Alright, coming up on booster sep. This is the real test, actually, to see if we still have balance after all these changes. I guess we'll find out. Hey, look at that. I'm kind of scared to touch the controls because I'm pretty sure it's going to just flip out and go crazy. But let's find out. That's what we're here to do. Alright, we'll just fire right down the horizon. Means our thrust vector is actually going to be a little above horizon because of the angle of our engines, but yeah, she's sailing pretty well, actually. I don't even have the RCS on, so this is all just gimbal corrective, which is more than I can say than previous designs, but yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, this is not too shabby. It's just real slow off the pad, so we're probably going to have to figure out something for these boosters. Actually, I think we're going to edge the EFT up just a bit more. See if we can't reduce the angle on the engines a bit. We still have, well, I don't know. I think maybe if we get a better thrust to weight ratio from the boosters coming off the pad, we probably won't need to adjust their angle as much. That's my hope. No, feel free to toss me a suggestion if you think of anything. I should have run the simulation for 15 minutes just to make sure we can actually hit a polar orbit. Alright, well, I guess in 20 seconds we're just going to buy more time, because I'm certainly going to try to ride this thing all the way to orbit. We got 3 minutes of runtime left. We should probably not be walking down our time to apoapsis by quite so much. That took me off guard, even though I knew it was coming. Yeah, only 7,300. Why not? Let's just keep running the simulation. See if we can't bring this more to a 90-degree inclination. We're only off by about 4 degrees. So hopefully this won't kill too much of our delta V, but numbers look pretty good. We should hit orbit just on the EFT alone. Well, actually, we might have some left in it when we ditch. How's it going, Isbang? Good to see you. Just making some balance and fine-tuning adjustments to the new Mark III shuttle before we go ahead and put it in service. Although I do have a contract to fulfill already accepted and lined up, and we're just trying to iron out as many of the little bugs as we can. Oh, thank you. This is my first ever Mark III shuttle in RSS. Oh, this is like, what, my 3rd week live streaming development? Shoot, what's your question? Oh, I let the apoapsis slip. We're gonna have to angle out of this. That's just the way that procedural wings kind of defaults. I tried switching it around because I kind of wanted the white side out and the heat tiles in because I don't know, they're purely cosmetic in the game anyway. But they're basically the same part as the wing structure. Ooh, we're coming down pretty fast. See? This is why I need to pay more attention to stuff. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, now we're climbing. Good. We are not going to re-enter the atmosphere right now. Okay, good. Gimbals are still doing a pretty good job of holding us steady. Yeah, I tried. It kept defaulting to tile side out. And kill it. This way we can deorbit the EFT. That worked pretty well. RCS to arm. AJ10s to on. Whoa. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know if that was just the gimbal overcorrecting on that roll stop, or... Oh, I love RSS. And yeah, I agree, 30 speed. There's... And once you go RSSing, it's very hard to go back and play stock. It just, it seems like a breeze, really. And that burn should probably wait until Apogee. And we have a high Apogee. And we certainly have the Delta V to hit it. That is even all of our Delta Vs. Got 2 tanks in here locked. For stability reasons. I've never actually tried the small scale RSS stuff. Keep meaning to build an install for it just to see what it's like, but I've never gotten around to it. Ah. Stock life stuff is pretty fun to use. I don't know. I know this shuttle is a little deceiving, but I really like building my own stuff. I'm not very big on building replicas because I don't feel like I could ever do them any actual justice. And back now in the VAB, we will be trying to improve some of these boosters, although I should mention first that I did shift as much of the liquid oxygen to the nose of the EFT as I could. I probably mentioned that during the live parts, but haven't gone back yet. Anyway, so we're going to first try to rebalance these things on their mount, seeing as how I shifted them inadvertently, and one went one way and the other went the other way. It was kind of wacky. But I think we're going to be abandoning these RS-171Ms in favor of an F1A, which is an engine I actually hadn't used very much in this space program, citing expense and weight, and that I could get better results out of a cluster of E1s, but I'm willing to give it a try at the suggestion of someone who was there in the chat, so we'll go ahead and upgrade these boosters. We're going to have to kind of redo the mounts a little bit to make them work, and we'll certainly be redoing the boosters overall just to, I don't know, make them not look quite so goofy. But seeing as how we'll probably be dealing with similar weights, I figured, hey, why not? Let's just give it a try. They do provide 9,000 kilonewtons of thrust, even sea level. Or I think it's 8,000 sea level, 9,000 vacuum. Their ISP is a lot worse than the engines they replace, but at this point, really getting it off the pad is our only troublesome area, so we'll go ahead and see how it works. And I will turn you once again over to old me as we take this out to the launch pad and give it a shot. Funnily enough, on the last live stream where I was working on this thing, I actually strapped 4 Minuteman SRBs to the back of the EFT, trying to get it off the pad in a little more less initial D type way. Alright, let's see how well this works out for us. Launchpad has to explode. There we go. Let's just get a roll on. I mean, better. If only marginally so. I wonder what the G-load's going to be out close to booster sep. I have not been paying close enough attention to think about if I'm going to need a throttle back or not. Ooh. That is quite a lot of wander you got going on there. Alright, I'll just lean back on that stick so you can get us in a northern, or a upwardly kind of direction, if you please. And we'll start your roll program. Can it be called a program if I'm doing it? Alright. And let's take it around to 180 south. It works a lot better when the boosters are not offset a little bit. That is perfect. And then start to lean into it. Come on. Oh. Must be some fairly high dynamic pressure because it is really not wanting to point anywhere but prograde, or this little wiggle off of prograde. Alright. Who remembers how fast we were going at booster sep last time? Because I really don't. It feels like we're going to hit booster sep a whole lot sooner. And I don't know, I guess we'll feel bad for the people of Miami. Nope, they're still running. Okay. Any second now. There we go. And they're off and away. Well, a little bit of engine wash, but they're not going to hit each other. They're probably going to hit Florida. Very reckless space program this is. But yeah, from here on out, our balance should still be good. But yeah, look, our total delta V numbers is a lot lower than last time. Like, I don't actually know if we're going to hit orbit on just the EFT alone. It's certainly interesting. Yeah, those RD-27s are just so much more efficient. I guess it makes sense because they're, I don't know, 2,000 kilonewtons less powerful. Oh, I forgot to rebalance the fuel. Ah, so many problems. That delta V number bouncing around like that is really entertaining. Like, I mean, watch. You can bring it down to almost 6 grand even, and then up to almost 63. Oh, now it's going to go down to 52 or 58, something like that. 5,800. meters per second. That is very interesting. But yeah, I guess it calculates it versus the angle of the engines versus the center of mass, because if you're offset, you're a little more inefficient. That is very interesting. Anyway. See if we can't get right into a 200-kilometer orbit by some stretch of the imagination. Minute 21 from Apogee, 3 minutes 46 seconds left on burn. So let's shoot for right around 10 degree and see how that works out for us. Holding stable and true. That makes me pretty happy. Well, if this thing on a half load will hit orbit on those F1s. Oh, I didn't pay attention to G loading. Did anybody pay attention to the G loading during booster sep? I imagine it was kind of high, but I don't know. And we can get rid of these screens now. We don't need them. Let's see if we can't get our inclination right around 90 degrees. That's ultimately what we're shooting for in polar testing. Actually, I wonder if we can execute a roll to put the EFT facing down without screwing this whole thing up. Is it worth trying? Yeah, you know what? Let's go for it. Roll quick before you can lose heading. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that was awesome. That looks so much better. I mean, that kind of looks legit. Too bad we're descending now. Oops. Only a minute 36 to go. I think we can round out this orbit before we get too deep into it. Maybe I'll just let that nose climb a little bit. I mean, that's kind of awesome. I'll print that. And now we got the wiggles. Okay, that's a bit much. Okay, good. Our rate of descent is slowing. It looks like we'll start climbing here shortly. That wiggle. I do not understand that wiggle. Okay, if I pay attention to it and just keep tapping the controls, it tends not to wiggle. It does tend to fight me a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, let's... there we go. That's a good balance. there's an orbit. 301 by 198, and 354 left in the tank. I'd say that is actionably better than our last run. So the F1s stay. Good call, 30 speed. Pleasantly enough, I was surprised to see that their performance was a little bit better than the 171Ms, despite their lower ISP, but it's that higher thrust that we kind of need. I just need to see if we need to do a throttle back on the RS-25s before separation to avoid a higher G-load on the crew, but I think these are heavy enough to where we might not have to. So currently I'm just resizing the boosters to make them not look quite so goofy. We will be bringing their height down a bit to get us to a sub 3-minute burn time. I think we're shooting for almost 2.5 minutes. Although they're not recognized by test flight, I do kind of want to stay somewhat within the rules, just to make it not so, I don't know. You can easily go way overpowered with the F1As or anything similar when test flight doesn't recognize it. But it does look a little goofy, that huge EFT and these tiny little boosters, but we're going to let it prove itself in flight, just to see if this is in fact going to be our final iteration. So let's get it out to the pad and back on over to old me. Alright. Launch pad has to explode. Yeah. Let's light them up. I wonder if I tilt the whole rocket over a little bit on its launch clamps, if we can get rid of that. God, we'd have to lean it back like 15 degrees. I mean, not that it's not doable. It would just be really weird. Alright, roll, roll, roll. And we're gonna go north this time, so we can blow up Virginia instead of Miami. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah. High dynamic pressure. Doesn't want to point away from prograde. Let's just let it do its thing for a little while. Yeah, it's not what we want it to do, but it's what it's going to do. We can displace some of this before we break the sound barrier. Right? Come on. There we go. Alright. Flatten it out. 2 Gs currently. Those F1s don't throttle at all. Another reason why I like the 275s is they throttle, I think, like down to 50%. I could be way wrong on that. they don't throttle. It's the HG3s that throttle, and these RS-25s definitely throttle. Yeah, 2.5 G. We can start really leaning into it now. Oh wow, it doesn't look like we're actually going to need throttle back. Yeah. 3.2 thrust to weight ratio, so that should be about our G number. Yeah. Backing all the way off the throttle has almost no effect on our G load. A little over 4G. Stage set, back to full throttle. We're good to go. I'll take it. So I wonder where those boosters are actually going to go. Why does it list us as a space station? Oh, hey, look, they're actually going to splash down off probably North Carolina, South Carolina. You are welcome, people of Virginia. I forgot to balance fuel again. Doesn't matter. We're done with this simulation. Revert. VAB. And well, it works. So the next time we see the shuttle will probably be on its first actual live deployment. I'm fairly happy with it, and I'm willing to give it a shot to see if it works. That's actually going to do it for this episode, everybody. So thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. If you want to catch these live streams, it looks like I'm going to be doing them on Wednesday evenings over on my Twitch channel, which is Twitch TV/Team McMason. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.